Hi everyone. So I haven't been on YouTube for a while, but it's not because I'm having any issues on Facebook or anything of such. So I really wanted to hit on a topic that's real important. I know that I have done this video before, but just something that I read today that just really took me aback because we go through marriages or we go through relationships, and then those relationships, of course, either you become a family or not. Let's just put it like that. And sometimes, unfortunately, not really unfortunate, but it is a blessing, is that you have a child with this person. So the unfortunate is really that you have a child with this person that you thought you were going to have a long life relationship with, or at one point you were going to get together and get married, or had in an illusion that we one day you would be married. But it never really happens that way. And it's so unfortunate because I went through it with my sister, with my mother, being that she was a woman who was a single mom. I partly blamed myself because I always thought that me being born with so much problems physically, and that I brought upon bad luck to my mother's marriage. I always have felt that in my heart. Always felt that. But I can relate to kids that feel either left out, or they feel like their parents always is stereotyping them in some kind of way, or feeling that the parent is not loving that child enough, or making even the effort to even reach out to that child, which of course that happens. And I saw even yesterday, as I was seeing, going through my Instagram, that here we are, we're talking about self-esteem, we're talking about empowering women and stuff like that. And I feel like most of the times we forget that half of these women have children with men that are not good fathers. They're not proactive with their children. They are not involved with their children's life. They're not, physically there. Always, like I have always experienced promises, false promises. Never promise a child anything when you yourself know that you cannot keep that promise that will forever be embedded in that child. That has happened to me. I have, been promised so many things in my life. Maria, I promise that, I'll buy you this. Or Maria, I promise, and I always looked forward to the promise. That's why I try to keep it, that I don't promise anything to anyone. Because if you can't keep that promise, then don't promise at all. So half of these women, okay, not half, because that's really like saying like half, like they don't matter. But these women who have children from men who can care less, or even mothers who have children who can care less if, they have a child, and then it goes down that, because that man didn't fulfill her, her dream, or she expected so much from that relationship that she didn't expect that it would be a fail, you know. And mothers come and they kill their children, and they kill their newborns, or to try to either try to blame it on the child because that child was born out of them, you know, out of that relationship. So that usually is what occurs. Now, my thing here is not that. I saw something that really hurt me. And I'm not going to go into, you know, who it's from, because of course that's private. But I do want to say something. And I feel that I should say, because I can relate to this. Fathers who have relationships with the one that they are married to and forget the children that they had before they had that child or those children should be included in the love. You know, it's horrible when you go and you are present, and I'm talking about the child or your son or your daughter, and they're present in still in your life, in the father's life, in the marriage that they're in now, and knowing that you are not part of that circle. Like, I am so proud of my son or my daughter because this and that, you know, or that they graduated or they achieved something. And that is not, you know, the child's fault, nor is it the children that are present now in his life. It's not their fault. But the feeling that one child gets is that I am not part of that circle. I am not part of his life. I am not part of him being proud of us, of my sister or my brother. Those words that you are throwing to those other children and not including them, you know, like not including the other brothers and sisters, is horrible. Like, why not say, even if it is a special occasion, you should always include all of your children, not just the ones that you have now. You know, it's very hard to live with a family that has already moved on. You know, like the father has moved on or the mother has moved on and they have a relationship, they have a family. And then the ones that were left behind, as what I say, are never acknowledged of what they do. No matter what they do in their life, a mother and father should always feel proud of all of the children that they have and not say, look, I'm proud because it's their birthday. I'm proud of who you are. Instead, include everyone. Look, I am proud of you and your other brothers and sisters for being in my life, for making my life complete, for making my life whole. It's like the mother and father leave that out, as if though those children are not of existence. And never wait for an occasion to say this, because we live in this world and we don't know what can happen tomorrow. And the impact that you leave or that you have at that moment that you thought in your mind that you were going to have, all of a sudden is gone. You know, I stress that so much because so many of the things of why kids commit suicide or run away or do things that they're not supposed to, and they go out there and they do it because they feel like they're not worthy. They feel like they're not cared. They feel like they're not acknowledged for the things that they do. You know, I always felt that in my life. You know, like I always felt that with my father. And I always felt like he acknowledged his other children because he stood with his other, he practically raised all of them right there. You know, like he was always present for my other brothers and sisters, but he never acknowledged not one letter, not one card, not one happy birthday, not one I love you. That matters more than a present, because we never received not even a candy from our father, not even when we saw him for the very first time, and all he had was all his other family members with him, which were men, and drunk. That is what I remember of my father when I first met him. And it wasn't even something that, was even a bonding. So when you do this, remember and keep in mind that you're doing it to those children, and that they are your children, that they are present, and that they are still existing. They're still existing in your life, and they always will be existing in your life. Even after they are gone, even after they have moved on, they're still in your life. So don't leave those kids out. They are not the fault of you screwing up. They are not the fault of the mistakes you made. They are not a mistake. Like I see a lot of the young kids say, oh, I made a mistake. No. A human life, a human creature, like coming from you and this a piece of you. How can that be a mistake? It is you that makes that mistake of not being responsible, not being responsible enough to take care of yourself, so that you don't bring in children that are left without parents, or that parents that are separated, or parents that are, no longer getting along and they have, separated. It is a beautiful thing to have a child. And also it's fantastic when we have sex. It's the greatest thing. But once we make that, that step into, okay, now we're going to be parents, is not so great. So now not only is the father not even present on the child, and not being proactive and not being fatherly or even motherly, because we also have to blame women here. Like women also, they take it out on the children because the father is not present. The father is, has moved on to another relationship, and so they want to take it out on that child. Most horrible thing that I saw on a video that they sent me. They sent me this video and I was alarmed. I was totally alarmed. And I know that this woman was not well in her, in her senses. She was smacking the life out of her twin babies. And they were little, really little babies. And when I saw in one that she was choking the baby and I said, to this person, don't send me this kind of video. When you have a video that you see that, there is a life-threatening situation, especially when it has to do with a child, go to the nearest freaking police station and show them the damn video, because they could track probably from that video, they can probably track down from where they are, and probably either save that that piece of life, or, arrest that person. Don't make the video go viral. Why are you making a video go viral? First of all, it's not enough time to make a video viral. Yes, of course you can make a video viral by seeing that, but what good is it if you yourself are making a video go viral and not helping a baby? Do you know that I had a panic attack when I saw that? I had literally a panic attack. After the video was shown to me, they took that video back. When I had said that to that person, they took the video back because I wanted to know where that video came from and where was the link. And this is what I'm talking about. That parents, you need, and regardless if you separate from each other, that child doesn't need to know that they are no longer in your life. You need to make it like, and I tell you because this is the responsibility of parents. I'm not telling people how to raise your children, but yes, be proactive in your child's life. Make that your priority. Because I see so many men and women and young ladies, they carry their term and then they want to harm the child. Or they carry their term and they no longer want to be together. And men, stop judging women. Women, like not all women are hoes, and not all women want to go to bed with you, If you cannot be in a relationship with a young lady and you know that that young lady is not looking for sex, or she says to you no, or she says to you okay, and she says be responsible enough to, wear a condom. And women, protect yourself, use contraceptives, whatever you can, so that you don't bring in a child into this life with problems. Because when that child grows up, they're going to be felt. It's going to be felt in their heart. It's going to be heavy in their heart that they were not appreciated. They were not loved. They were, they were in some sorts. They will know that perhaps maybe we were a mistake in his life or her life. Don't make that shit so obvious. Because like I said, I don't make money out of this, you know what I mean? And I really don't. But the most thing that I care about is that people share this video. Because when things like this that are so important to probably half of the percentage of people that look into my YouTube, probably they pass by, but they don't really sit and look at the video because they probably don't have time. But I urge you that look at some of my videos, because I feel that I have something to present. I feel like I have something to say. I feel like I have a message to send out there that maybe perhaps I can help someone think in their mind. Look, think before you do. Your actions are what's going to matter more. Like I felt that in my heart, like today when I read that, I felt that. I was like, wow, to know that the kids are present in that man's life, in their father's life, and yet are not acknowledged, are not praised, are not, being said, how proud I am of you. How proud I am because of the person that you have become, the adults that you have become. Everybody makes mistakes. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. Don't be so judgmental. There are a lot of parents who want a child to be a specific way, and they're so proud because that child never gave them a problem. Never. But it's always like parents always stereotype, and though parents don't want to do that, and I know that it's not meant for them to be stereotyped, always praise all of your children. Always say I love you to all of your children, even the ones that are not present in your life. Even the ones that are probably, the black sheep of the family, they need to hear I love you. They need to hear that they are the greatest existence that ever happened in your life. The greatest creation. No matter how bad is your child, embrace them with love. Embrace them with care. Embrace them with that they matter. That's what I'm saying. They matter in your life. Because no matter what happens, those are your blood. That is your blood. And so that's why I say this. I urge people to please, share these videos. Share them. Because it may not make sense to you, but maybe the other person, it may like, wow, it's true what she's saying. Or, maybe I should sit down and really think about, how I deal with my kids on a day-to-day basis. Just don't, be on your computer and bye, and that's it. Tell your child how much they are appreciated. Tell your child how much you love them. Tell your child, or say to your child, not tell them, but say to them, I love you. And say that every day. Because we don't know what might happen. And also, we don't know what that child is going through mentally. Okay? Because just because you see your child okay, doesn't necessarily mean they are okay. Just because they tell you they are okay, doesn't necessarily mean that they are okay. And I know that a lot of parents spend their time working, even 2 jobs. Single mothers, 2 jobs, even 3. Single dads spend their, they have to put the meal on the table. And that is understandable. But don't neglect your child. If you feel like you cannot have that child in your life, there's always the option of adoption. There's always going to be the one person who would want your child and would want to give that child the best life. And what I mean the best life, give them what they need. Something if you cannot give them. But don't try to kill your children because you don't have the baby's father present. Move on. Make your life better so that he can see, or that she can see, that you didn't need them. Like my mom. My mom, she didn't need anyone. She raised me and my sister, and she did a damn good job. I love my mother. I'm proud to be her daughter. I'm proud that she's my mother. But not, I see parents that only care about their job. They only care about, I have a life. My kids are big. They don't need me. Your child is always going to need you, because your child is always going to need you to say, I love you. Your child is always going to need you to embrace them, to love them, to support them, and not support money-wise, but support them emotionally. As parents don't, today is like, if you catch feelings, or if you even show feelings, it's like, okay, it's hard to handle. Why? I don't understand that. I don't understand the generation of today and how things are today. Like, if I'm in a computer and and if I had my children come first. I always manage to say I love you to my niece and my nephew. Always, because they were raised with me and my mom and my sister, who's the mother, and they didn't have their father present. They need to hear that. Children, no matter how old they are, they need to hear that you love them. They need to hear that you support them spiritually and emotionally and mentally. That you will be there, that they are not left alone. No matter how old we get, we're always going to need our parents. Even when our parents pass, go to the other life, we will always need our parents just as much as they need us. And we tend to forget that. Especially teenagers, they forget that, you're only going to have your parents for so long. And some parents, they die quickly, and then some, they last forever, like they are with you there. And you can see them as they get older, which I'm fortunate enough to see that. But what I'm trying to say, you never want to see your parents die, because those are your mother and father, you know. But what I'm trying to say is appreciate the moment that you have with your family. Don't shoo them away. Don't take time, because just as much as you take time to be with your friends, you can also take the time to be with your mother and your father. Because in the long run, when they are gone, you're going to miss those moments that you cannot take back, moments that you can never have with your mother and father when they pass, when they pass along to the other life. Okay? So people, who are out there, who are single mothers and fathers, I am proud that, for the ones that are always hands-on with their kids, I'm proud of you, because continue to be that way, because continue to love your child, continue to be in your child's life, continue to, be present, be proud, acknowledge what your child does, because when you acknowledge, most likely your child will become more knowledgeable, or more, how would I say, more apt to succeed in life. When you encourage your kids and you acknowledge what they do and you acknowledge their goals and their accomplishments, your child, will be a well-rounded person and adult, most likely. But when you neglect your child and they feel like are not part of you, physically, or even spiritually or mentally, that's when they start to think, am I the cause of the breakup between my mom and my dad? Which in truth, it isn't. It's quite different, And so, women who are out there who think that they need that man to be with you, if he wanted to be with you, even with your child, he would have been there for you. He would have been there for you. Do not feel bad about that man not being with you, because it's actually a blessing, and it's actually a learning experience, because then now you know what to look for the next time. It is never too late. There's always going to be somebody for someone. There's always going to be someone for somebody. Okay? But the thing is that we have to stop, especially men, stop judging women as hoes. Stop calling women bitches. Stop calling women, because remember this. Would you like someone to call your daughter a bitch or a hoe? No, right? I certainly wouldn't. So, respect women. And if you feel that you can't have a relationship with that woman simply because you want to go to bed with her, I think that you should be straight with her. I say, look, I don't want a relationship. All I want is to pass the moment, have fun. You know what I mean? But don't lie. Don't fill her ears up with false promises. Very, very bad, because if you have a daughter out there and someone did that to your daughter, and I know you would not like it. So try to be mindful, men, that, if you can't have a relationship, you don't want a relationship, that's fine. Just don't chase the girl. Don't bother, because she can do without you. There are a lot of men out there, but she can do without you. Because there are a billion out there that would probably want her. You're just one of the very million out of a billion that she doesn't need in her life. And aware women, be aware. If a man is asking you for sex on the first date, It's a red flag, sweetheart. Leave that man. He's no good. Leave him. A man that loves you will never ask you for sex. And if you say no and he leaves, it's because he wasn't good. He's not a good man. But if he stays and willing to have a real relationship with you, not just have a relationship because he wants to gain, a score, but a real relationship. And that's all I have to say. Just acknowledge your children, make them feel proud make them feel proud of what they're doing, and help them to feel like they are loved, truly loved, and not just, a side thing like, oh, you don't matter, but my children, the ones that I have now, do matter. Because they're coming from you. You're the one who created them, and it takes two to tango. Two to tango, not one, but two. So acknowledge, love, acknowledge, and be present. Be proactive. Be present with your child. Be there for your child. It doesn't matter what age they are. They need to hear that you love them and that they matter. That they matter. Everyone take care. Have a great day. Happy Monday. Bye-bye.